Hi guys, we're oh hang on, forgot the other intro. I'll skip that. Don't worry about it. Hey, we're here for another preview. It's obviously Arsenal Man City this Sunday, and look at an already. I'm already outnumbered. But yeah, yeah. So it's Arsenal Man City at the Emirates Stadium. I've got Stephen from Esteemed Kompany and Ray from CityFanTV. How are you guys?
All right, buddy.
Yeah, all good.
I'm
all
good,
good.
man. I'm good. Thank you.
I think you're all baby good, like sitting at the top of the table, 10 points clear of everyone else. I bet you're loving life.
It's not bad, is it? It's not bad, Stephen, is it, life at the moment?
It's been worse. It's been worse. It's been worse, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get into some of that. So there's a couple of players I want to look at as well. But, yeah, we'll start with initial thoughts on the game. Stephen, what is your thoughts going into this?
It's one of like the I mean, looking through the fixtures we've got at the moment, it's definitely the most important fixtures that we've got, but it's still a big one. You know, it's obviously we tend to have a good record against Arsenal. I think we've not lost since like 2015 now or something like that. We like won the last 7 in a row. Yeah, so it's like one of the things where it's in my head though. I'm still cynical as a City fan.
Sorry, it's like when you get over 21, you stop counting your age.
Exactly. Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, but like it's one of those things where I'm still cynical and I still presume the worst. But like, I mean, all history and all stats suggest that City are the overwhelming favourites here. I mean, obviously we'll have half an eye on Mönchengladbach, and then we got United and West Ham coming up and all that kind of stuff. But our form's excellent. You know, we're getting players back at the moment as well. More big hitters are coming back, and life looks pretty good for us, man. It looks very, very good, and I'm feeling pretty confident overall. And I'm sure the team will be feeling confident as well, really.
Yeah, Ray, do you have anything you want to add into that?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, the only time we've lost you recently is that FA Cup semi-final.
Yeah,
last season, which still hurts. It still annoys me because we were actually playing.
Hey, that was on my sister's birthday, and I was just like, "Oh my god, I must have been." I did take my by that point. I had my medicine, and my painkillers and stuff to help me go to sleep and that, right? And I must have thought my drugs must have been tripping me or something. when it went 2-0, I'm like, nah, I'm tripping.
Normally take your medicine, your painkillers before you watch Arsenal play, especially this season. Most of this season, it's been like that.
Well, to be fair, the game, it weren't that bad. So, like...
No, you were all right that game. I mean, Arteta had Pep's number that day. Pep had picked... I think he just picked what we looked from the outside as a standard good side. But... you know, Arteta had us that day, but apart from that, you know, basically we spank you. You know, without sounding too arrogant, but most games we played in the last 3 or 4 years, we scored 3 goals most games. You know, we beat you 4-1 in a League Cup before Christmas, but most games we generally get 3, and we generally put in good performances. So. On that basis, you think, yeah, it should be another straightforward 3 points. But City fans we know what it's been like, you know, City-itis and all that. And, you know, you just know so many times we've chucked stuff away. I remember when we played United at home in the Centurion season, you know, we were going to beat United, we're going to get the title against our, you know, biggest, fiercest rivals. And then 2-0 up at half time. And we chuck it away and lost that game. So never take it for granted.
Painful.
You know. Oh yeah, some painful memories. But overall, it's been good the last few years.
Yeah,
we're going to be favourites. There's no doubt about that. We're in really good form. As Stephen said, it's, you know, players are coming back, and people are back in form as well. Like Bernardo Silva's really in top form. So you know, we've got to go in confident.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think my best memories of City were a long, long time ago when I was a kid, to be honest. I mean, I remember when David Seaman played for you about half a season. And
he was terrible then, unfortunately.
Yeah,
he was so bad.
I think he was so
really
bad then.
Yeah.
But I think you had the stadium at that point, and it just needed someone to come in and, like the owners you have now, and come in and like give you the investment you needed. And too right too. I mean, I do remember the 2012 the Premier League win. Yeah, I do remember that because I was in hospital. I was keeping an eye on Arsenal, right? And all the dads in the play area had taken over the play area for the kid. It was supposed to be for kids, right? And we're watching the football, right, on the big screen. So, right, and then I'm running in and out of the rooms trying to keep an eye on Arsenal, keep an eye on what's going on, right? Because I didn't want to see I wanted to see Alex Ferguson's face when it happened. So, but yeah, I mean, Man City now. I mean, that you'd be lucky if you take a point, even if you're at the Emirates, right? It's a good point. I think you probably biggest bogey team I'd say would be Spurs. I'd say. I mean,
Liverpool.
Liverpool.
Yeah.
Liverpool, they've had good, decent results over you. But the way you brushed Tottenham aside, like they weren't even there, to be honest. I mean, I did enjoy that, by the way.
And Liverpool for its worth.
Yeah, and Liverpool as well. So it's but I think Liverpool have also got their own problems to deal with at the minute, and they're not. But I think, yeah, you definitely. For me, I feel the title's done. It's done and dusted. I don't think anyone will catch you. I think next season as well, if Chelsea spend more and you invest as well, it could be a Chelsea Man City title race next season. For me personally, and it depends what Liverpool want to do as well, whether they want to invest and try and go again. So, yeah, it's this. But from an Arsenal perspective, which we're up and down like a yo-yo. 1 minute we're up in 9th, 1 minute we're back down in 11th. It's, for me, I'd love to know your opinions about Arteta, because for me, again, last night, I just didn't see. I just saw the same football that we kept losing on that run, and again, the stubbornness not to change it and bring on players like Willian over Lacazette and Ketia, right? When Willian's done nothing since he's turned up. So I'd love to know your thoughts over Arteta.
He's good.
I feel like he's a Man City agent, anyway. So I really do.
Yeah, well, he's obviously coaching and managing are two different things entirely. Obviously, like you can be a decent coach, but managing a bunch of people and a bunch of players ain't easy. You know, you have to be a motivator. You have to have charisma. You have to make sure the players are going to follow you and be able to get through to them. And as much as you can learn what Guardiola does, and I'm sure most coaches can genuinely absorb and understand what Guardiola does, but being able to make sure the players follow those instructions and input them and actually react to your words, that's what makes a great manager a great manager. You know, having the full skill set, not just to have the ideas, but then to lead and motivate and make sure they're actually doing what you say. And like, I'm sure Arteta is a very intelligent manager, but I guess the question marks still are: does he have that? You know, does he have the strength of his convictions? Does he actually will be able to get the reaction out of players? Is he even analysing his own play as well? Because it could be that he's trying to make some players do things that they're maybe not even capable of, and maybe he's thinking, well, I've got to try and persist with certain styles. And I mean, there's so many things to being a good manager, and it's not as simple as just being. I would say just coaching is probably only like 1/5 of it at most. You know, you have to be able to identify talents with players. You have to know what to say to them, when to say to them. You have to know how to get them fired up. You have to know who to sign and why assign them and when to move players on. And it's just, I mean, Arteta probably is a good coach. I've got no doubt about that. I mean, he wouldn't have worked so closely with Guardiola, and he wouldn't have been so highly rated for such a long period of time. But obviously, he's got to learn his stripes in terms of coaching, and there's some good signs there every now and then. But that's only part of the battle. And I hope he stays around for a bit longer and gets another summer, in the transfer window, and gets to get his feet on the door a little bit more. And because he's got potential, clearly. It's just there's no guarantee, and it's going to be interesting to see how he adapts the team over the next few months, because it feels to me like now this Europa League thing is a big thing for you. It's big because you might even struggle to get in the top 6, because Liverpool are currently 6, and you have to catch them and all that kind of stuff. So
I've already admitted that I don't even think we'll finish in the Europa League. If we're not going to finish Champions League,
I don't think you will either, to be honest.
I think honestly, for me, if we're looking at it, I don't want to be in Europa League if we're not in the Champions League. Right? I get that. I think it'd be beneficial for Arsenal if we just came out of the Europa League for a minute, right? And look where we can improve, so we can go for a top 4 challenge. It might also give the board and the owners like a reality check, because for so long we've now come back and dropped and dropped and dropped, and as the competition's got better, we've fallen even further. So
the problem you're going to have if you don't even get the Europa League is it's going to come back to money again. You know, you've had this season with no fans, so I don't know how much Arsenal's match day income is or the match day profits are. You're missing out on that. You missed out on some money last season. And if you miss out on Europa League, I don't know what it's worth to you, 30, 40 million quid. I have no idea. And that's just going to make it doubly difficult. You're going to have, obviously, less money to spend to actually pay for new players. You're not going to have European competition. So I was talking to some guys yesterday, and they're talking about Husma coming. I said, well, if you've not got even the Europa League, what's Husma coming for? And he turned you down last summer. City he was hoping that, I think City wanted him or Juventus would go in for him. Nothing happened, and he turned you down. You didn't. I don't think you offered enough money.
I just feel it's the same. That there's always seems to be an excuse beforehand. It's always been like the same thing with Arsenal in the transfer market, where there's some sort of excuse for not spending. We spend a little bit, but not the amount we need.
Well, no, but look, you make mistakes. Lots of clubs make mistakes, and you made a big one with, for argument's sake, Pepe. Spending the amount you spent on Pepe, was it 72 million quid?
Well, I can ask Brandon. I mean, he's got his own version on a Pepe. How are you? But thanks for coming in, by the way. That's also noticed. And what's your feelings about Arsenal and their transfer business and Pepe, for example?
What can you say? What can you say?
Sums it up, yeah.
Honestly, Manchester City are everything that Arsenal wanted to be, or what we wanted Arsenal to be when we moved to the Emirates Stadium. And we're a joke of a club at the moment. Our recruitment's a joke. Just everything about our football club is not good enough. And I personally don't feel like anything to do with the club is good enough. It's so disappointing. It really is so disappointing. As to Pepe, £72 million is far too much for the guy. Far too much. Absolutely got bent over with that deal. Let's put it that way. I do think he has improved in recent weeks, but we still probably haven't seen the best of him. And like the guys were saying, we've made so many mistakes. It is ridiculous. And to correct them,
Willian,
it's worth saying as well, by the way. It's worth saying, like, obviously, like, some of these players may be underperforming now, and they might just not be good enough. But I mean, many City fans, and and I'm not going to exclude myself from this. Some City fans did have question marks over Joao Cancelo and Rodri's level of ability, and it can take a bit of time every now and then for a player to come out the shell in the right circumstance. And confidence is just so important. Like a player that can go. Usually, like, world-class players are usually just world-class all the time. Like De Bruyne just never stops. So some players are kind of followers, and they need a little bit of leadership around them to be, to reach that level. And it might just be that you haven't got, the right. It could be that people like Pepe, for example, in a really functioning, confident team, could be a lot more effective. It could be. Obviously, you could have just bought a dud, but I do think there is some quality there for Pepe. It's just like he's not 70 million, is he? And it just could be that some of these players. Yeah, put it this way. I wonder if Pepe would do any better in the City side. I don't know if that's true or not, but but you don't know, do you?
It'd be an expensive Gabby Jesus. Thing is, Arsenal paid 72 million on a guy.
Just before we continue, just gonna say, everyone in the comments, right? Big up to you guys. Smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, share button. Go check out Esteemed Kompany's channel as well, and Ray's channel, CityFanTV, and also Brandon with his channel. He's doing great stuff with Brandon. And AFC TV, and big up to everyone, go through some of these comments. 7-1 on Jesus.
Oh, what he's smoking, man! Like,
I don't know, but I definitely want some. I'll miss him big time with that. Big up Brandon. hope you well, Cam. Yeah, there was that message. I just get this one. Agent owner care about football like this. Yeah, and just
see some of your decision making.
This one.
I was just going to say.
Yeah. All the best to you, CamCam, and I hope everything's well there, and send the best wishes. But yeah, Ray, you were going to say.
Yeah, some of your decision making on your players, either purchases or what you've done, like Saliba. You know, we had all these stories that he's going to be a good player, but he's not ready. He's not ready, and then he's gone off to loan, and he's been player of the month. So you know, it's strange. It's what you wonder why Arsenal fans haven't seen him play, and then he's gone off. You know, and he's doing well somewhere else. And the Pepe one, it's just crazy. You know, I think if you'd asked most football fans what Arsenal needed, it certainly wasn't a £72 million striker. When you've got Lacazette, when you've got Aubameyang, you've got Nketiah coming through and Saka coming through, Martinelli as well. I think most people would have said you needed an upgrade on your centre-backs and a really top defensive midfielder. And £72 million might not have bought you 3, but it probably bought you 2. You know, there's people out there that you could have got. I mean, you look at Spurs, they got Højbjerg. He's all right. It's probably an upgrade on what you've got, I reckon. So the people out there. And I mean, actually, if I was Arsenal right now, I would. People laugh at this, but I'll put it out there. I'd knock on Fernandinho's door and say, "Look, you know, yes, you are." Sorry.
Not a bad shout, I agree. Yeah,
that's it. Just say, like, we'll give you a 3-year contract or 2-year contract. You know, make it something that makes, because City, you know, the rumours I might get another extra year or a player coach. Give him something that makes him really have to consider staying and say, like, we'll give you a 3-year contract. And people will say, well, maybe 38. But I think what he'll bring to you, besides the winning mentality, he's still one of the best defensive midfielders in the league, and he'll bring everything. His game is still a very, very high level, and I just think he'll give you. In his fitness is very high, and he doesn't have to play every game, but he'll give you something that you need. You know, and people used to laugh at me when I said talk about Fabian Delph going to Everton, and Everton fans said, well, he's not doing very well, but he's a winner, and he needs a bit. Fabian Delph fits into a side where there are decent players, and he can then perform because he's kind of, you know, they're carrying him a little bit because we've got a good side. But if you'd have got a few of the older City players that, you know, when Stones was being apparently touted around, you know, people didn't look at him. He just needed game time. So there are other players there. You're just wasting money on, you know, people, big names.
Well, Brandon, who would you get then? Like, you say you got the money to get 3 targets for Arsenal. Who would you get?
Well, first of all, I say, right, this is the big problem that I have with Arteta. I don't know how you guys as City fans feel on Arteta being manager of Arsenal and what you've made of him so far, but we're saying about how we're lacking in certain areas in the pitch, and there's certain players that are not good enough for this football club. I can name you a couple right now. Hector Bellerin, Granit Xhaka, but these are Arteta's go-to players, and this is the big problem. You know, we need to upgrade on these players, like you was just saying it. For me, if we had the money to buy 3 targets in the summer, and I'm going to go realistic as well, because, you know, I'd have Jack Grealish at Arsenal, but we all know that ain't happening. You know? No. So I feel like you definitely need someone to play next to Thomas Partey. I'd go and get Basuma from Brighton. I would go and get another striker as well in replacement for Lacazette, because I just don't think he's done business at Arsenal. If you're a striker, you don't score 20 goals in a season, you're not good enough in the Premier League. Yes, he brings other aspects of his game to our game, in the sense that he hold up the ball and bring others into play, but your job is to score goals at the end of the day. So I'd go and get probably Patson Daka, I think his name is, young striker. And then we definitely need a centre-back, but we also need a right-back as well. So if I was going for a right-back, it'd probably be Max Aarons from Norwich. But yeah, I think we need more than 3 players personally, mate. I think we need a minimum of 5 this summer.
No,
Yeah,
I mean,
Arsenal won't do that though. They'll get 1 or 2, and that's the thing. And then expect us to because what happens is happened season after season. We get 1 or 2 players. Some of the fan base get absolutely gassed about it, and then wonder why we don't get top 4. It's because we haven't been invested properly. It's just we haven't got the actual main targets we all needed to strengthen the side. You mentioned Max Aarons, for example. You could pick Cantwell out of that. You could pick Buendia, right? Basuma, Lamptey, all right? These are players that I wouldn't say they're going to be like Premier League title-winning level, but for where Arsenal are in a minute, they could definitely make a challenge for a top 4 in a very well-balanced side. If, in my opinion,
player who might be a as well, who I think's had a very good season, Aston Villa on loan, is Ross Barkley. You know, some of the stuff, some of the players that we have. You don't want to stunt Emil Smith Rowe's growth too much. So you don't really want to go and buy a player that's going to completely knock him out of the team and stunt his growth. But I think Ross Barkley could be a player who could be bring that extra quality as well. So I don't know. Because that's
the thing. Like we'll still have the same problem. Right, when we get rid of Odegaard, people think we're going to buy Odegaard. No, it's not going to happen. We're just training him up for Real Madrid. Real Madrid rate him very highly. The only person there who doesn't is Zidane. And the way Zidane's going, he could be out the door. And if he's out the door, Real Madrid will just call him back, right? And they'll probably just call him back anyway. So I just don't see where people think we're going to keep Odegaard, because in the end, that's only benefiting one club, and that's Real Madrid. Yeah, we get a few months, but in the end, we still got the same problem. So, yeah, it's I'd like to do a combined 11, but I'm scared that no one will get in.
you know you're wasting your time.
Yeah,
you could maybe sneak Saka in at left back or something like that. But other than
honestly,
that,
Tierney?
No. Honestly,
I like those, by the way, but.
No. I was going to say, if the only way to do a combined 11, put City's first team to one side and then start again on your combined 11 with what's left of City's team.
Mate,
I tell you what,
even
actually,
your second team,
did you want to do
your
it?
second team would probably slap us all over the pitch, to be honest with you. You know?
Can I also hang on, but good evening, everyone. Big up Alex. Go check out his channel, Arsenal Alex. He does great content there. Give him a subscribe. Ruben Diaz, we should be scared of. Wow, Chris, get off this Willian nonsense, right? Smash the like button. Chris, stop. You can't be serious. Tierney's of any City's left backs. 5-0 to Manchester City, says Daniel. We will be opening the lines later, especially for time. Do we want to do actually a combined 11 of like all time?
All time. Well, I'm going to start with Colin Bell. How far about you going? How far about you going?
Premier League era.
Premier League. That's
I think it's best talking about Premier League era, because I mean, I don't know if you've seen him, Ray, but I'm too young to see Colin Bell personally.
I think the season, first game I went to, that was his last few months. So if I'd seen him, I don't remember, because I was still. Yeah. I'm not that old, but I was about I think 10. I would have been about 10, 11.
Yeah.
So you can do it. Go ahead, do a Premier League era team. I mean, that's
why not?
You're going to get some in.
I'm going to share the screen. Oh God, will you piss? Get out of here!
I don't know why you just don't block him and that's it. Block him forever.
I have blocked him. He keeps coming back with different accounts. I'm not that way inclined, mate. I'm sorry.
Move it on.
Oh, I'm scared, boys, for the weekend. I really am. I'm just picturing right now. Gundogan, Phil Foden, and Kevin De Bruyne are against our defence.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, Phil Foden I rate a lot. I really do.
That's another question I've got for you, City fans, as well. Why is it whenever you've got a player out injured, he's always fit to return against Arsenal? Every single time this happens. Every time.
No idea. Man.
It's like
pure luck. But maybe they just enjoy playing against you guys. I don't know.
Right.
It's fun. It's always fun. So,
what do you want to play? 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1?
Sure, buddy. 4-3-3 if you want.
Yeah, 4-3-3 is
4-3-3. With one CDM.
Well,
yeah,
it might be no CDMs.
Well, I think. Yeah, it might not. Yeah, it's just going to be difficult.
It's when you try and squeeze, people like what's his name, Bergkamp in somewhere, and then you're trying to squeeze KDB, Silva, and Bernardo.
Yeah,
and then you're getting Henry as well, and then you're trying to get Vieira and stuff like that, and like it's like
that's why I suggested 4-2-3-1 in the first place. But
I mean, for me, the back two, you'd probably. I mean, I'd go for Kompany and Campbell as the back two. I reckon.
Oh yeah,
I'd probably go for that because that's ridiculous. It's power and pace in it. A lot of it. As much as I did Diaz and Laporte, everyone's been great. And
you know what? I will do 4-2-3-1 because I think we can fit a bit more players in there and a bit more options. Goalkeeper, should we? Right.
City legend, David Seaman. City legend.
City legend. Fair. Totally fair.
Hang on, I don't know why I'm doing this.
Great, isn't it?
Yeah, it won't work. Do you know why it won't work? It's FIFA 21. He's not available. I just realised that.
just go on lineup builder, mate. Lineup builder.
Yeah. I got this one. This one will work.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Just ignore the colours. We'll do right. So Seaman, right back.
I mean, as much as I really, really do rate Lauren, I thought he was a quality player. For me, it's Zaba just because he's a warrior. It's just literally a warrior.
I actually do.
I just think Zaba was just phenomenal. I mean, if you're, he's literally, it's like a captain at right back. I mean, that stuff's huge in it for me.
What do you say, Brandon?
Oh no, I really don't know. I really rate Lauren. I thought he was very,
quality. I agree.
He was very. You didn't really notice Lauren as much as what he should have been noticed. Really, I personally feel in that sort of era, he was probably better than Gary Neville. He just didn't really.
That's a big shout.
You know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah, no, we'll give you Zaba. Yeah, we'll give Zaba letter.
Yeah,
it's going to be an equal back forward, I reckon, because I mean the left back's obvious, isn't it? I mean it's literally the probably best left back in Premier League era. Ashley Cole, left back. I mean, like Cole's.
If I spelled that wrong, I do apologise to the Zaba letter.
No, that's right, man. That's
right. So we go with Kompany and Campbell.
What about
that's
no, Kompany and Adams.
I was going to say you can't leave Tony Adams out.
Tony Adams.
Yeah, got Tony Adams in there.
I mean, it might have been old. No, he's still in his late 20s in the.
Well, no, the Premier League started in '92, and he did.
Adams would have been 26.
Yeah.
So
I think
plenty of years.
Campbell's probably a better partner for Kompany, but Adams is obviously a bigger legend and stuff. I would say that's a hell of it. Either way, you got great defenders there.
Kean's a good shot, but
that's got to be Ashley Cole, hasn't it? It has to be.
It's got to be.
Yeah. We see that have good left backs. I remember we have like semi-good left backs, like Clichy.
Yeah, you took Gael Clichy from us.
So
they're all right.
We could have had Clichy on the left because he's got the link with both clubs, and Lee Dixon on the right because he's an Arsenal player but a City fan.
City fan, yeah.
Yeah,
it's difficult. You have to look at the top bit before you look at the bottom bit, don't you? Really, because you have to work out who's going to be left out almost at the top. You have to. I think we're going to have to fudge De Bruyne as a winger or something like that. Just to make sure he gets in or something.
I honestly think that also that the one up top is going to be a major debate.
Oh, unless you put Thierry on the left. Get where he played at Arsenal.
Let's try and get these 7 and 8 done.
Yeah. Let's get 7 and 8 done. People are saying Vieira and Yaya Toure.
That's not bad, is it?
Ben, that's a good shout, actually. That's a very good shout, Charlie. Do you know what? He's only 14 as well, and he knows a lot about his football. Trust me.
That's a ridiculous partnership for his wife. It's ridiculous.
I can't argue with that.
No, I don't think I can either. As much as I love Ferner and stuff like that, and as much as you love Petit and everyone, that's just ridiculous. It's everything, isn't it? It's literally everything in football there.
Yeah, so I'd see, I told you he came back on another account, but I just blocked him again. So Vieira, and I'll go. Would you agree with that, Brandon?
Yeah, all day long. Vieira and Yaya Toure.
Yeah, definitely. Big up. Do you know what? I loved Vieira when I was watching him.
He's a quality player. What a good all-time great.
And we had his brother. Don't forget, we also had I'll probably spell that one as well.
That's right.
Is it? Okay. I used to be good at spelling.
You got it all right, man.
Yeah, I know. Right on the right-hand side, then. Got.
Do you know one of my favourite Premier League players of all time is literally one of your guys. I don't think he should be in the team, but I actually genuinely loved Lundberg. I thought he was brilliant. I thought Freddie Lundberg was a quality player, but I don't think he should be in the team. But that's why he was there, wasn't he? But like for me, I would have De Bruyne outright just to get him in the team here, because I just want him in the team. But then who'd you put?
Chris Paul says Fabregas at some point.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But then who'd you drop out?
Charlie, who's also a City fan, is Lundberg.
Your three has to be probably Pires, and De Bruyne.
KDB. Yeah, KDB's got to be in there.
You can't leave David Silva out.
You can't. I don't think you can either. I honestly,
David Silva.
As good as Pires was, I think Silva's genuinely had a bigger legacy in the Premier League, and I actually believe that. I'm not just saying that as a bias thing. I think he has.
Can Silva play on the right?
He play on the left, but on the right, he did for Spain. Actually, to be fair, he did it for Spain, and he cut in quite a lot.
You can play him on the right, and Pires on the left.
I would. Well,
I would rather. I'm trying to get him in his team.
I'm trying to.
Could have Lundberg. Put not Lundberg. Put Bergkamp in, so we know he's there. Because there's so many good players. Sometimes you forget somebody. I think everybody's agree that Bergkamp has to be there as your number 10.
Do you know what I reckon you could do? I mean, I think De Bruyne could sit us on out because he's got a long way to go in terms of like Silva. And I would have Henry on the left cutting in from the width, and then have Aguero at top with Bergkamp behind. I think that's just phenomenal. Like with on the right, Silva. That's what I would do. Controversial, but because he was always on the wing anyway, wasn't he, Henry? Kind of cutting in. You know, he was never playing through the middle. He was often like running off the wing. So
Charlie is just
he's more on the left.
Play wide right Bergkamp behind Aguero.
Play KDB
right. Bergkamp behind Aguero. Henry on the left. Because Henry was like Aubameyang. He was on the left winger.
Yeah, Henry was on. Like he was the left one.
Would you go with KDB or would you go with David Silva?
Probably Silva, I reckon. I don't know. What do you reckon, Ray?
No,
Silva all day long. He's done it for
Silva.
I agree. I'd say Silva. And also, we know he can do it for Spain. He's literally played there cutting in. Imagine Henry and Silva cutting in, like prime Silva. And silly. That's silly. Bergkamp feeding Aguero.
Everyone agree on that?
That's a fucking insane team, by the way.
Yeah, it is. Oh, we should see that. So we've got Silva on the right.
I agree about the KDB thing. First sub KDB, innit? Imagine the bench as well. Can you have the bench?
Oh, KDB. Oh, don't. We can do the bench if we really wanted to. And Bergkamp in the middle. Who's up?
that forward line is That forward line is just astonishing, isn't it?
Jesus Christ! That's I won't want to face that. Jesus.
You know what's the most crazy about that? That team's so good.
Hang on.
Average, even though he's brilliant.
This is something I've got to do. Right. Henry's number 14. I can't be having this.
Here's a question. Do you reckon, I mean, it's early days, there are any current Arsenal players coming through that could ever challenge to get into that side?
Martinelli?
Any Arsenal players coming through?
Saka, innit, surely?
Coming through? Anybody?
Saka, Foden.
No, Arsenal players.
Martinelli. If Martinelli stays fit, he's just as good as Saka. Because I see Martinelli how I see Henry when he started, because he started on the left, right? And if he develops his game like Henry did, right, I'd love to see Martinelli being coached by Henry, because honestly, he would literally be the it's like history repeating itself. But yeah, Foden, I rate highly. I would love Foden in my team.
You think as well in time, if Foden stays at City for 10 years and carries on winning, he's just going to go down.
I don't think Smith Rowe will quite make it, to be honest. He's good, he's quality, but I don't think he will. Tierney.
Better than Ashley Cole. Better than Ashley Cole.
Maybe. Well, no, you never know.
I don't think it's even a maybe. I think as good as he is, like Cole is probably. He's up there. He's like literally he's in the top 5 left backs of all time. Maybe I think I rate him that highly. Literally in football, like
I think
he was. No but genuinely, like bro, Joe Hart was great, but Seaman was better in prime, I reckon.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Maybe.
Can you imagine the 25-man squad as a whole? You'd have 3 goalkeepers. You'd have Seaman. You'd have Lehmann. You'd have Edison. Then you'd have Pires, Lundberg. You'd have Phil Foden, all these players, man. It would be ridiculous.
De Bruyne.
If that did win anyone, I'm sorry. If that didn't win anyone a quadruple, nothing will.
Backup striker Dzeko on the bench or someone. Like, even Ian Wright was a Premier League player for a bit, wasn't he, as well? Yeah, I mean, so like,
hi, Luke.
Tevez. Fernandinho as you back up DM.
Yeah, back up DM. Absolutely mad. So before we just open the lines, give you a score prediction starting with Stephen.
2-0, man. I see us keeping a clean sheet. I think it'll be a good game actually. But I've got a feeling you guys are going to rest some players because Benfica's a bigger game for you.
It'll be good game for you, yeah.
But it's like I reckon honestly you'll rest a player or two because everything your season now is literally based on Benfica game, isn't it? Like you have to win that game and go through and so I reckon
he rested Tierney. So if he rested Tierney against Benfica, which I don't get, no. So
probably injuries with Tierney, I wouldn't be surprised. But like I don't know, but like, I reckon 2-0. I could 2-0. I think
don't put Gallas in this situation, right? Gallas was a prick. I'm sorry, right? Like you can't draw with Birmingham after Eduardo gets injured and then blame the whole thing on the team, right, and not yourself. Just like, as a captain. I'm sorry, get out of here. Ray, what about you? What do you say?
I pretty much agree. I think I'd like to see Diaz and Stones, at least Stones playing again.
Yeah.
Even if you want to play Laporte, play him out on, if you put 3 at the back, play Laporte on the left, we've done that before, but just get Stones back. I think he's going to make a big difference on the right of centre back. I'm going to go, I've already said 2-0 on one preview, but I'm going to go 3-0 just because we generally get a lot of quite a few times we scored 3 goals. Up to last season, I did know the records. We had 20 goals in 7 games, and every game we scored 3 apart from 1. Unai Emery's first game, I think we beat you 2-0 down at the Emirates. I think we'll be tight. I think 2 big things. Europe, for you guys, the league is extremely difficult to get anywhere. I mean, as we said, you're down in 10th. You're 6 points off Liverpool. It's going to be tough, and it's not. And Liverpool are 6th. And if Europa goes down to 6th or 7th, you've got a chance, but it's going to be tough. The teams above you've all got games in hand, like Everton. Villa got 2 games in hand, Spurs as well, and they're all above you in points. And going deep in the Europa League is probably your best chance of getting into the Champions League, obviously.
Yeah.
And for us, we will have an eye on Borussia Mönchengladbach. So I think what we'll probably do, if we get a couple of goals ahead, we'll just sit on it. We'll just play it around, treat it like a glorified training game, and just hang on to that 2-0 and just control the game, save players for Borussia Mönchengladbach.
Brandon, go on. What do you want to say? But by the way, everyone keeps smashing the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Go check out Esteemed Kompany's channel, CityFanTV, and go check out BrandonAFC TV. They're all doing great stuff. So give them a like, follow, and subscribe. Yeah. So, Brandon, what do you think?
I think you guys are being kind, personally. I'll actually be pleased if we don't concede any more than 3 goals. Honestly, past few seasons we seem to concede 3 against you every single time, and I do think we will make a few changes. I do think you're right. I think Arteta will reap the changes a little bit, because obviously Thursday's game is even more important now after that. After that disappointing draw yesterday. So yeah, I'll just be happy if we don't concede any more than 3. And I honestly do feel like it's going to be an easy game for Manchester City. So yeah,
right,
I'm going to go for Man City.
Yeah, for me, I can't really say too much, though. I've got too much optimism. I tried to be optimistic last night. It didn't work. And so for me, I'm just going to look at realistically. I don't see us having a chance. It'd be a miracle if we could get a point out of this game. Yeah, Arteta will make some changes. He's got to, because if he does go Europa League, he's done. He's finished, right? In my opinion, and I think a fair few Arsenal fans will be done and finished with him as well. So, yeah, that's the only way we can salvage the season. So, Man City for us is probably the least important game out of the 2 coming up. So, and I think Man City will take full advantage of that, and I believe it will be about 3 or 4-0 to Man City. I really do.
I hope you're right. Mate.
Hey. Did you want to do your lineups? Who would you play?
City, I don't even know what he's going to do, man, because we've got it's a wonderful problem to have, but we've got De Bruyne and Gundogan back now as well, and I just don't know what he's going to do there. I mean, we'll leave that because we'll probably take ages. Yeah, I mean, like defense, I want Zinchenko, Stones, Diaz, Cancelo. It seems to be working really well. We've got obviously to keep an eye on Mönchengladbach midfield. Rodri's going to start. I think Gundogan will come straight back in. I've got a feeling De Bruyne might start on the bench. I could be wrong, but I've got a feeling he'll be cautious with him because it's working so well with Bernardo and Gundogan. And I might be wrong, but I've got a feeling De Bruyne will start on the bench for this one, and then we'll play just what's been working with Foden, Sterling, and Jesus, maybe. Or he might do a false 9. Maybe De Bruyne will come back in as a false 9 or something like that. But Mahrez was good the other day as well, so it's like difficult for it to drop him out. But it's tough, man. But something like that. What do you reckon, Ray?
I reckon Mahrez will start because he won't play against Borussia Mönchengladbach. That's my feeling. Yeah. And Mahrez will play one of those games, not both. And because he had a good game, it's an excuse to let him have another game. Defense, I'm not going to argue about. That's our best defense. Zinchenko on the left, it helps to balance our side up. Him going forward, the way he works with whoever's on the left, whether it's Sterling or Foden. I'd like to see Foden play, but I'm tempted to think he might leave Foden out. He's not played Foden throughout the season. The Liverpool game. Look at the two games before that. I don't think they were brilliant games. One of them he only played about 52 minutes. I think we were winning comfortably, but he didn't keep him on. But I think midfield is going to be Rodri. I hope we're going to find out about Gundogan tomorrow because he's going to do. He only had half a session today, so we'll find out tomorrow. I hope he's fit because I kept him in my fantasy team. But him and Bernardo have been brilliant. I don't want to play KDB. I don't want him to start the game. Yeah, he might be fit, but why take a risk when he's just come back out for a month? Why take that risk? Save him from Mönchengladbach and up front. Keep playing Gabby till he scores, I say, and then you can have either Sterling or probably Sterling and Mahrez, I reckon.
Brandon, what do you think? What do you think?
I want to see a 8-1-1 formation, 8 defenders, 1 midfielder, 1 attacker. No, I'm joking.
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, mate. I wouldn't be surprised.
It doesn't work anyway.
I don't think it really. No, that's right. I don't think it really matters who plays. Really, I would probably play Aubameyang in this game though, because I kind of feel like Cancelo. He has an unusual role. Really, I watch him play, and he kind of tucks in as an extra midfielder. I think if you keep the width and you push out wide, you could cause Cancelo a lot of trouble, especially with some pace and that. So probably play Aubameyang in this one. I think Emil Smith-Rowe needs a rest. It's pretty clear to see he needs a rest. I'll probably rest Bukayo Saka as well. Bring in Pepe, maybe even start the Chelsea agent as well. Pretty standard, really, to be fair. There isn't an awful lot to choose from, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, certain players like Saka and Odegaard, Smith-Rowe, them sort of players I'll definitely be given a bit of a rest to ahead of Thursday.
Yeah, definitely. I did put the Discord link. The StreamYard link has been shared into there, right? But I think also I'll put it in the chat as well, so people can have their say for the last part of this before we go. So here it is. Right. So anyone, you can jump on now and have your say. So, but yeah, I don't see much difference with Arsenal. I don't think. Do you know what? Say resting. I don't even think Arteta will do that. I don't even think he will try and stick with the same thing. And which could then end up backfiring against Benfica. This is Luca's life. He says City 3-0. He does great content on his channel. And we've got Man City fan Charlie. How are you?
I'm good.
What do you want
to?
Yeah. What do you want to say, mate?
I've got a feeling we'll absolutely batter you on Sunday.
Okay.
3-4 now.
Any other sort of reasons why?
Arsenal are just crap, aren't they?
I was going to say that. Knew he was going to say that.
I can't argue with him, to be honest. Like he comes on regularly now on his channel, and I can't argue with him. Like, it's what would you do in terms of like a lineup, Charlie?
I wouldn't start Jesus. I'd play a false 9. To be honest.
Okay.
Sterling, Foden. Is De Bruyne back? I'd start De Bruyne if he's fully fit. And then Gundogan if he's fully fit. Rodri. Probably Bernardo in midfield. Or you can put Foden in midfield. Play Sterling on the left, Bernardo on the right. And then Zinchenko, Cancelo, Stones, Diaz, and Edison in there.
Okay. Do you agree with any of that? The Man City regulars?
I think most of our players, if we're looking at our best team, they kind of pick themselves. You probably pick 8 or 9 without, a question. The issue we're going to have is when Bernardo's fit, when Gundogan's fit, and when KDB's fit. Do we push KDB forward? and let those two guys carry on doing what they've been doing in his absence the last 4 weeks? Or do you drop one, or do you rotate? I don't like the idea of rotating. I would, to be honest, if you want to shoehorn KDB in the side right now, I'd put him up top and let him just be an advanced player, because Bernardo and Gundogan have done so well.
Jesus had a couple of chances as well the other night, which he didn't finish quite well.
Yeah. Guys, I'm going to have to shoot, because I've got another one and then another one, and my evening's just full of Arsenal. My evening's just going to be full of talking to Arsenal fans, some of them in tears. But it's been good coming on, Stephen.
No, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure, and you're always welcome as always. And go check out CityFanTV. Give them a subscribe.
Have a good night.
See you later.
Nuri, quickly, do you want to ask anything
Stephen,
before? Yeah.
It's safe for me, mate. I've got a Zoom call with friends and family at 7, so I've got to go prepare for it. Sorry. I've just got to do the whole Zoom.
Yeah, all right, no worries. We'll wrap up here.
It's been a pleasure. Yeah, no worries, man.
Can I just ask one thing?
Yeah.
The 5th of March, I'm doing a big fundraiser from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And I've got a few slots in the afternoon that I could ask if you want to come on.
Yeah, I have to check with Darren, man, but just send me I don't know what I'm doing on that day, so send me a DM, okay? And I'll let you know. But I'm sure I'll find some time on that day, but I don't honestly know what's got going on that day, so I can't tell you right now. But just send me a message, mate, okay?
Yeah, if you do any... plus, also, I'll send you the Just Giving page link, because if you could put that in the video descriptions of your streams that you do that day, then we can try and help raise some money, because I can't do it on this channel at the minute, apart from... But thanks anyway.
See you later, guys. Anyway. In a bit.
See you, Stephen.
See you later, Charlie. Bye.
So, Nui, what do you want to say?
I was going to ask the guys before they go off, but I think they sort of ran off. But is really City looking at this game, thinking, are we going to take it seriously? Not in a bad way, but I think they pretty much sewn up at the top. So will they be more focusing on Gladbach over in the Champions League, or might they rest some players? I don't know what they would potentially do. Not saying that Arsenal's going to be a total walkover, but they're guaranteed to pretty much win 2-3-0. Do you know what I mean? So will they rest? I know probably Arsenal will definitely rest. So will Pep sort of show the same thing? I don't know. I if I was in their situation, I'd potentially take the Gladbach game a bit more serious, as that is a knockout. I think the first leg's away as well. So, yeah, what sort of situation would City be looking at this game? Obviously it is a big game for them, regardless of your position at the moment, because obviously it's always big playing Arsenal. So, are they going to take it seriously, or are they going to take the piss, or is Arteta going to do his sort of magical moment where he gets one over on his old boss?
Yeah, if I answer it from an Arsenal perspective, knowing from what I've seen with Guardiola, I don't think he'll take this like an easy joke or anything. He'll take this seriously.
He won't.
Right? Yeah, but I don't think it's that. It's just he won't take anyone serious. He would. Oh, for God's sake, fuck off. All right. Yeah, he won't take anyone. Yeah, he will take it seriously all the time. Brandon, do you think he'll take it seriously, or do you think they'll focus more on Gladbach?
I think Guardiola's the type of manager who will focus more on one thing. I think Man City have got such strength in depth that it doesn't really matter if they do rest players. If they take out Bernardo Silva, they've got Mahrez to come in. If they take out Phil Foden, they've got De Bruyne to come in. They've got such a strong squad. I don't think it matters either way, really, whether they rest players or not. I just worry us more than anything. Maybe we should play Arteta in midfield. Give him a kick, let him get in there. But I don't know, mate. I really don't know.
So, Brandon, are you hopeful at all for the game, or are you sort of thinking I might just wash my hair instead?
there's always hope, you know. You never know what's going to happen in football.
No, he's booked his
But
day to move house on that day instead of doing a watch along.
no, as regards to do I actually think that we can get a result? No, I don't. And to be honest with you, I said it before the Leeds game as well. It doesn't really matter what the result is. Our season in terms of league campaign and domestic campaign is pretty much over. We've got the Europa League to rely on now. The Europa League is the be all and end all for Arsenal fans at the moment, and that's embarrassing. But we need to get through this tie against Benfica and hopefully go quite far in the Europa League.
Well, what do you think about the next leg of Benfica? Because I mean, they're no easy team by all means. You know, I mean, obviously they did. You did draw 1-1 with them yesterday, but you know they're no sort of mugs. And I think I don't know. I mean, on another day, they do have quite a good lineup, really.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I feel our biggest downfall yesterday was we just didn't take our chances. You know, Aubameyang had 3 very good chances, and normally, you can quite easily say that Aubameyang's normally one of the best finishers in world football. But yesterday, he was shocking. It was like we had Yaya Sanogo back up front. And I kind of feel like we shot ourselves in the foot a little bit because that was our away leg. It's a chance to score a few goals and score a few away goals. With it being a 1-1 draw, I suppose, you know, it's not so bad because we have got that away goal. But I do feel like Benfica can offer a lot more as well as us. And it really depends on what Arsenal turns up on the day. We have days where we turn up and we're absolutely brilliant, but we don't have many of them. That's the problem.
What do you think of this Aubameyang? Obviously, a lot of people saying because he's now signed a deal, he's not playing at his full potential. Or do you think it's just I mean, obviously there's stuff going on in his personal life. Do you think that's affected his style of playing, or do you genuinely think now that he's got the contract, he's sort of like foot off the gas, if you know what I mean?
I think it's a bit of both. I kind of feel like Mikel Arteta hasn't really helped Aubameyang in a way, because a lot of people probably don't really like this, but I don't know why we brought him in to play striker in the first place, because the guy was banging goals from the left-hand side, you know?
Yeah.
Banging goals. And all of a sudden, Arsenal fans and Mikel Arteta seem to think that we was going to solve our goal-scoring issues by playing him up front. But we don't play to the same sort of way or style of way that Aubameyang needs to be able to be played. You don't play balls over the top for him to run onto. We try and lump balls up to him, but he's not a guy who's going to hold the ball up and stuff like that. He has had personal issues as well, and I think that's probably affected him as well. He just hasn't been great this season. A lot of people were saying last season that without Aubameyang's goals, look at where Arsenal could have been. But without Aubameyang's goals, you start to see now that, you know, we're not that good. We are a bang average side. So, yeah.
And then my sort of last question, because I've got to pop off a news site for the show. Lacazette potentially being sold. What do you think of that? I mean, obviously, there's been a few names come out. I think like Louise, Lacazette, and someone else. What do you think if obviously they do get sold, and obviously you don't replace them with quality? You know, because obviously it is a lot of people are going through this COVID thing where money is low. I mean, do you think that if you sold Lacazette, you'd be able to get anyone of his quality? I mean, I know he don't play well all the time, but he does bang in the goals for you at crucial times.
It's an interesting one, really, because Lacazette comes up with a few important goals in big games. Like Lacazette is the striker that turns up in the big games. You know, he bangs absolute rockets against, you know, likes of yourselves, Tottenham, and he's even come up with a few goals against City and stuff like that. But the guy doesn't score enough goals. That's his problem. You know, he's a £50 million striker, yet he's never scored 20 goals in a season for Arsenal. So I do feel like we could get better than Lacazette. I think it costs an awful lot of money to get better than Lacazette.
Definitely.
So it's an interesting one, really. And as far as David Luiz is concerned, mate, he can leave.
Oh, of course, 100%. That one's given.
So, yeah.
Relentless, quickly, just
I'm going to pop
got
off. And
right.
I'll
Yeah, you got to pop off.
See you in a
We're
bit,
going to get
Laura.
Relentless to ask
In a
one
bit.
question only, and we're going to get Ads to ask one question as well before we go, because I've got to get prepared for this, that, and the other show at 8. Relentless, what do you want to ask?
I don't really have a question. I just want to make a statement real quick about this City game. Bro, I'm not that confident, if I'm being honest. You know, if you look at City, I think City, like, if you talk about City, like you say, oh, they score a lot of goals, they're very good offensively, but this season they found the right balance, man. And I always said, like, the scariest thing in the world, is COVID, and giving Pep a good defense, bro. Like that's the scariest thing in the world, bro. Like for me, I think now that Pep has a decent defense, he's found the balance. I don't see how we beat this team. Like, I don't understand. And like, I know people say, "Oh, Arteta, he's the assistant coach," and no, bro. Like, I don't know how we're gonna beat this team, man. Like,
Hang on.
I don't.
I can definitely see where you're coming from. I think Brandon can probably see where you're coming from as well. Is that right, Brandon?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. How do you beat this City team? This is the thing. They're on absolute fire at the moment. They're 10 points clear at the top of the league.
I think it's the first 10 wins of the first in a calendar year, first team to do that, isn't it?
Yeah,
exactly. The only real weak area that I can see in the Man City team is in their right back position, because Cancelo, he's a very good player, but he tucks in like an extra midfielder when City have the ball. I think if you attack at him with pace, you can cause him issues because he will be caught out of position on the regular. But apart from that, it's like, I don't know, Man City are a machine, and it's going to be pretty damn impossible to beat them.
I slightly disagree. I think the left-hand side, the left back position, because like their left back position, I think that left back position is dire. I think we have a better left back than they do.
Yeah.
Like who they got, Shinchenko? Like he's not a left back, he's a midfielder.
Yeah, Ads. What's your question before we go?
I have one thing to say, and then I have one question. I said, and I called this out ages ago. I said, when their midfield is sorted, when their defense is sorted, and when Sterling is on form, then there'll be a complete different beast, because everyone else was ticked off apart from Sterling. And I said, when he's on form, everyone will just be quiet. Everyone will just suddenly shut up, because everyone's been saying, he's not one of the best wingers in the world, which in my opinion, I think he is on his day. I think he really is, and he's proved that this season why he's so rated so highly. And the question is, why are Arsenal so shit?
Great question.
Do you want the long answer, or like which one do you want? Do you want a short answer?
Long answer.
I'll give you a short.
No, not a long answer. We ain't got the time for this.
Years, listen, I can start from 2006, man. If you really want the long, I can start from 2006, but
there's a number of factors.
Keep it quick. Go on.
I say the
short
board,
answer,
the whole atmosphere at the football club, the fan base, and Arteta. Sure.
Right, Brandon, go on. Your reasons.
Yeah, the short answer is the club is just not good enough from top to bottom. Manager's not good enough. Fan base, except mediocrity. Players are not good enough. And that's about it, really, Ads.
Yeah, the same here. It's rotten from the core, from the owner, which then the owner doesn't care, right? And because that happens, then the board doesn't really care. In terms when it comes to winning things and success, it filters down into the manager, right? And it goes through the manager into the players, because the players know the club doesn't care, so they're like, why do they care? So, or they just pick up a paycheck. So yeah, then that's the short answer of it. And unfortunately, the young talent that's coming through will just see it, and they'll just be sold on, right? So
wait, Ads,
club's got no ambition.
Ads, don't tell me you support Tottenham, bro.
I support Man United, mate.
All right. So
yeah,
you can chat to us. Bro.
It's all right. Yeah, thanks for everyone that's tuned in. By the way, it's been a great stream. Thanks to Esteemed Kompany, CityFanTV, BrandonAFC coming at the last minute. Right, thank you very much. Thanks to everyone that's come on. Ads, Relentless, Nuri, Charlie, and everyone else in the comments. Just thank you all for the support. We'll be back at 8 o'clock with North London Banter, which is me and Nuri. I'm trying to find a special guest, but I'll try and work that out at some point. But until then, we'll see you at 8 p.m. and everyone, we'll see you then. Bye bye.